All right, so today we're going to dive into something I find super intriguing.
Okay.
It's the potential benefits of fasting.
Mm-hmm.
We'll be going through excerpts from this article called The Fast of Wonders by Nicole Boudreau, featured in Ciencia y Conocimiento magazine.
Sounds interesting.
What we're really trying to figure out here is, can fasting truly be like a path
Yeah.
to better health? And maybe even, as the article suggests, rejuvenation.
Rejuvenation, huh? It's a pretty bold claim.
It is a bold claim.
I'm interested to hear how they're going to back that up.
Well, they start off strong,
Okay.
quoting doctor and writer Louis Ferdinand Céline.
Okay.
He warned about an epidemic of diseases caused by a full stomach.
Interesting.
Boudreau uses a powerful analogy. She says, the fork
Okay.
is killing more people than the sword.
Oh.
We've become too civilized for our own good, she argues.
I like that quote.
What do you think about this idea that abundance
Yeah.
is actually hurting us?
I think it's pretty thought-provoking. You know, we tend to look at abundance as a positive thing,
Right.
but maybe our bodies haven't quite caught up with this constant access to food.
Right.
I mean, evolutionarily, our ancestors went through periods of, feast and famine.
Yeah.
So I think it stands to reason that our bodies might actually benefit
Totally.
from periods of not consuming.
And that's exactly what Boudreau argues.
Okay.
She says that when we fast,
Yeah.
our bodies go into this repair mode,
Okay.
a kind of pendulum swing between abundance and therapeutic abstinence.
That's fascinating.
Yeah.
What's really cool about this is the science behind this repair mode. Have you ever heard of autophagy?
I have.
Yeah.
It's basically where the body starts to eat itself, right?
Yeah.
Cleaning up damaged cells and stuff.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it.
Yeah.
It's a cellular recycling system
Okay.
where the body breaks down and recycles damaged cells and components.
Right.
The article uses the example of arthritic cartilage, suggesting that during a fast, the body can break down and rebuild damaged cartilage.
Interesting.
So you can see how this process might have therapeutic potential
Yeah.
for a wide range of conditions.
That's incredible.
Yeah.
But here's where I think a lot of people might get tripped up.
Okay.
The article emphasizes that fasting is not just a low-calorie diet.
Yeah.
It's complete abstinence from food.
Right.
How is that different, and why is that distinction so important?
Well, it's a critical difference. You see, a lot of diets focus on just reducing calories.
Right.
But fasting is about giving your digestive system a complete break. This complete absence of food is what triggers these unique physiological responses, including autophagy,
Yeah.
which you wouldn't get with simple calorie reduction.
Okay, so no snacking allowed.
Nope.
But then the question becomes, doesn't our body need food?
Right.
How does it function if we're not constantly supplying it with energy?
That's a very valid question.
Yeah.
You got to think of it this way. Our bodies are incredibly adaptable.
Okay.
When we fast, our systems shift gears,
Okay.
moving from using external food sources to tapping into internal reserves.
Oh.
Yeah.
So the article refers to this as ecological recycling.
Right.
The body essentially breaks down old or damaged tissue
Yes.
and reuses the components to build new healthy tissue.
Exactly.
Is that what's happening?
Yeah, that's a remarkable process. And it goes beyond just recycling tissue.
Wow.
Fasting, as Boudreau explains, also cleanses the blood vessels and the interstitial fluid, the fluid that surrounds and nourishes our cells.
That's crazy. It's like a whole body detox.
It is.
And the article highlights some really compelling research
Yeah.
to support these claims.
Okay.
A study from Stem Cell found that fasting for just 2 to 3 days can actually regenerate stem cells in the blood
Wow.
and boost the immune system.
No, that's a significant finding.
Yeah.
Stem cells are the body's raw materials for repair and regeneration. Boosting stem cell production could have a huge impact on health and even longevity,
Right.
especially as we age and our immune system naturally declines.
That's impressive.
Yeah.
But how does that work? How does fasting trigger this stem cell regeneration?
Well, one mechanism the article mentions is the reduction of the enzyme PKA.
Now, I'll admit I'm not a scientist,
Sure.
so maybe you can break this down for me.
Right.
What is PKA,
Of course.
and why is it important in this context?
So PKA is linked to aging and an increased risk of cancer.
Oh, wow.
So by reducing PKA, fasting may have a protective effect
Okay.
against these age-related issues.
Interesting.
To simplify it further, Dr. Valter Longo, as quoted in the article, explains that when we fast, our bodies essentially go into energy-saving mode.
Okay.
To do that, they start recycling a lot of unnecessary cells, especially damaged ones.
So it's not about deprivation. It's about activating the body's natural cleanup crew.
That's a great way to put it.
So far, it seems like fasting has the potential to trigger self-repair mechanisms, cleanse the system, and maybe even rejuvenate the immune system. It's almost too good to be true. Are there any downsides?
That's a great question.
Or things we should be cautious about?
And a perfect segue into the next part of our discussion.
Oh, good.
While the initial research is incredibly promising, it's important to remember that more research is needed to fully understand the long-term effects of fasting and to determine the safest and most effective ways to practice it. We also need to be mindful that fasting isn't appropriate for everyone.
Okay.
The article mentions Professor Chris Mason, who cautions against fasting for people with certain medical conditions.
Okay.
It's crucial to consult with a healthcare professional before making any major changes to your diet. Especially if you have any underlying health issues.
That's sound advice.
It is.
So while the science is exciting, it's important to proceed with caution.
Definitely.
And seek personalized guidance. And of course, we'll delve deeper into these cautions and the importance of a personalized approach to fasting in the next part of our deep dive.
So how does this fasting pendulum actually work? What does it look like in practice?
Well, it's definitely not one size fits all. And as always, this is for informational purposes only.
Of course.
But the article does offer some interesting insights into different approaches.
Right. It's more like a spectrum. You know, Boudreau suggests the type and duration of the fast can vary depending on individual needs and goals. Some people might benefit from shorter, more frequent fasts, like intermittent fasting, where you restrict eating during certain hours of the day or days of the week. Others might choose longer fasts. Those should always be supervised by a medical professional.
It seems like preparation is key too, right?
Absolutely.
You can't just jump into a multi-day fast without any sort of plan.
You don't want to shock the system. The article stresses the importance of gradually easing into and out of a fast to minimize discomfort and potential side effects.
Boudreau also talks about different types of fasts, like water fasting, where you only consume water, and juice fasting, where you drink fruit and vegetable juices. I'm curious, do those have different effects on the body?
Yes, they definitely do. Water fasting is generally considered more challenging, but potentially more effective in triggering autophagy.
Interesting.
Because you're completely abstaining from any calories. Juice fasting can provide some nutrients, which might make it more manageable for some people, but it won't trigger the same level of cellular cleaning.
So there's a lot to consider. The type of fast, the preparation. It really reinforces what you were saying earlier about the importance of personalized guidance.
Absolutely. A healthcare professional can help determine the best approach based on individual needs and health status. Now let's move beyond the purely physical and talk about how fasting might impact our overall well-being.
Okay, this is where it gets really interesting to me. Boudreau argues that fasting can enhance our relationship with food. And make us more aware of our bodies.
It makes sense, right? By challenging our ingrained habits around food, fasting helps us break free from mindless eating and tune into our body's natural signals of hunger and fullness. We can even start to notice the subtle ways our bodies react to different foods.
Like hitting the reset button.
Yeah, exactly.
And it's not just physical. The article also touches on potential psychological and even spiritual benefits of fasting.
Interesting.
Things like increased mental clarity, focus, and a sense of deeper purpose.
You know, fasting has been practiced for centuries in various spiritual traditions as a way to purify the body and mind, enhance self-discipline, and connect with something greater than oneself.
Wow.
It's fascinating to see how these ancient practices are now being explored and in some ways validated by modern science.
It's a powerful reminder that our minds and bodies are interconnected.
Absolutely.
But even with all these potential benefits, it's important to approach fasting with a balanced perspective, right?
Of course. While the research is exciting, it's still in its early stages. Fasting is a tool, not a magic bullet.
Right.
It should be used strategically as part of a holistic approach to health and well-being.
Yeah.
And as always, it's crucial to listen to your body.
Right.
If you experience any adverse effects during a fasting, you should stop and consult a healthcare professional.
Okay, so we've explored the science, the benefits, the personalized approach, and the importance of safety.
Yeah.
But there's another layer to this, isn't there?
Right.
Fasting kind of goes against the grain of our current societal norms.
It definitely does.
Okay.
We live in a culture of abundance and instant gratification. Right. Food is constantly available, and we're often encouraged to indulge. Fasting requires discipline, patience, and a willingness to embrace discomfort,
right,
which can feel countercultural.
It almost feels like a rebellion.
I like it all.
In a world that's constantly tempting us with food.
Yeah, and it can also challenge our social norms.
Oh, right. Oh.
Food is such a central part of our social lives.
Yeah.
We gather around food, we celebrate with food,
right,
we comfort ourselves with food. Choosing to fast can disrupt these patterns.
Okay.
And might even lead to questions or judgments from others.
It's important to be prepared for that.
It is.
And to remember that this is a personal choice.
Yeah.
You have to do what feels right for you.
Exactly. And if you encounter resistance from people who don't understand fasting, it's a great opportunity to have an open conversation.
Yeah.
And share what you've learned.
Okay.
Always with respect, of course.
So even though it might feel countercultural,
yeah,
maybe that's part of what makes fasting so powerful.
It could be.
It's a chance to step outside of those norms and reconnect with our bodies on a deeper level.
And perhaps by embracing these periods of abstinence,
we can rediscover a deeper appreciation for the nourishment we receive.
Yeah, it's like absence makes the heart grow fonder, but for food.
I like that.
Fasting makes the food taste better.
Right.
It allows us to return to eating with a renewed sense of gratitude.
Yeah.
Savoring each bite more fully.
It reminds us that food is more than just fuel. It's a source of pleasure, connection, and even cultural significance.
Precisely.
Fasting can help us appreciate those dimensions even more.
Right.
So as we wrap up our deep dive into fasting,
yeah,
what key takeaways do you think our listeners should keep in mind?
Well, firstly, I think fasting is a powerful biological process with the potential to activate our body's self-repair mechanisms, cleanse the system, and possibly even boost our immune function.
Right. And it's not just about physical health.
No, not at all.
As we've discussed, fasting can promote mental clarity, focus, and help us become more attuned to our bodies.
Yes. But it's crucial to remember that fasting isn't a one-size-fits-all solution.
Right.
A personalized approach, guidance from a healthcare professional, and an emphasis on safety and sustainability are all key.
Absolutely. It's not a replacement for a healthy diet and lifestyle.
No.
But potentially a complementary practice that can enhance those fundamental aspects of well-being.
I agree.
So as our listener considers incorporating fasting into their life, what's one question they should ponder?
Here's a thought-provoking question.
Yeah.
Could strategically incorporating periods of fasting alongside a healthy diet and lifestyle be a key to unlocking greater health and longevity?
It's a fascinating question.
It is.
And one that researchers are continuing to explore.
For sure.
We've really only scratched the surface of understanding fasting's full potential.
I think so too.
And perhaps by examining this ancient practice through a modern scientific lens, we can unlock new insights into the incredible resilience and adaptability of the human body.
I hope so.
Thank you for joining us on this deep dive into fasting.
My pleasure.
We encourage you to do your own research, talk to your healthcare provider, and make informed decisions about what's best for you. Until next time.